Hello, it is December 24th, so if you celebrate Christmas, then Merry Christmas. If you celebrate anything else, Happy Holidays. I know Hanukkah was happening, so Happy Hanukkah. Happy anything that you celebrate, honestly. Happy Yule, Happy Kwanzaa. Um, for people like me, Happy Candle Nights. Speaking of candle nights, I just got back yesterday from West Virginia. My roommate and I, we drove about 8 hours to Huntington, West Virginia, through the treacherous, foggy mountains, and that was terrifying. But it was super worth it because we got to see the McElroys live. We got to see Sawbones and Schmanners and Still Buffering and my brother and me, and it was incredible. I'm so glad we went. It was so worth it. And I met so many amazing people. There were so many kind and wonderful and amazing, just lovely people that I met there. If you're watching this and you're one of them, I love you, and you helped make my night so great. And there were people giving out little gifts. Like there were these two people giving out these little crawdad pins, which is a reference to one of the more recent episodes where somebody bought too many crawdads, and somebody else was giving out bracelets, and I accidentally already broke mine. I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna keep the charm that was on it forever. Zag on them. I've been zagging so hard this year, so I appreciate this. Um, but it was such a wonderful experience, and everyone who was there, who was kind and loving and sweet, just helped make my night amazing. And it was great. And seeing the McElroys live, like getting to see their faces when certain things were said, was just hilarious. It was so great. Um, it seemed like everyone was having a great time, and I'm really, really thrilled. Um, so I did want to talk about something a little bit more serious. I know this is like candle nights and Christmas and holiday season and everything, but I did want to talk about gender. Um, I'm going to start by saying that I am I am a cis woman. So my experiences with gender, I don't have the same experiences that trans women do, very obviously, or trans folks in general do, because I'm not transgender. However, I have a lot of experience with being maliciously misgendered. I have a lot of experience with people throwing transphobic slurs at me, which is super exciting because, like, there's not really much I can do in that situation. A lot of it kind of feels like negging, like it feels as if people are like, hey, you don't have a vagina, prove it with pictures. And it's like, that's, okay. That's just, I'm not going to send you nudes, my dude. I'm sorry. But basically, I've touched on gender a little bit here and there because it's, I guess, pretty abnormal in this society to see a woman with a full beard. And so a lot of people assume a lot of things about me. Firstly, people assume that I am transgender. Now, this inherently is not bad. It's not bad to assume that I'm trans because there's nothing wrong with being trans. There's just not. Like, trans people are amazing, and there's millions and millions of trans people, and a lot of them you probably don't even know they're trans. You probably know trans people that you don't know are trans. Like, trans people are everywhere, and they're amazing. But it is a problem for a couple of reasons. First of all, you shouldn't just assume shit like that. Like, you never know. Second of all, like, I get a lot of like hate directed towards me because of it. Like, I've had TERFs, which are trans exclusionary radical feminists, coming at me and saying things, saying like I'm lying about having a vagina, saying that I'm lying about, being a woman. Which, having a vagina doesn't make you a woman, because there are plenty of women who don't have vaginas. There are plenty of men who have vaginas. Like, but the thing is, I was assigned female at birth. The doctors pulled me out. They looked at my vagina and they diagnosed me as a woman. or as a girl anyway, as the female sex. And I, to this day, identify as a woman. And, it's kind of bothersome because there's so many women that I've met, like hundreds and hundreds who I've personally spoken to, who have polycystic ovarian syndrome or any other hormone disorder that causes them to have facial hair that they're ashamed of. And so these TERFs, who are, again, trans exclusionary radical feminists, these TERFs look at my beard and decide for me that I don't have a vagina. So you guys are harming millions and millions of women when you do this. Millions of people in general. Like, you're already harming people. Like, you guys aren't good to begin with. Like, I've hated TERFs with a passion for a long time now, because I've always been very supportive of, trans people, and they're very hateful towards trans people for no reason. They're just extremely disgusting towards trans folks. And but now, they've gone and proved to me that they don't actually, like, I've always known this, but it's just like it's been thrown in my face last night that trans exclusionary radical feminists, also known as TERFs, don't actually care about women at all. They don't. Because if they cared about women, they would know, because they're very obsessed with vaginas is the first thing. And you would think that since they're very obsessed with vaginas, they would know about polycystic ovarian syndrome, which affects 1 in 5 people with ovaries. This is a common thing. There are millions and millions of women who shave their faces every single day because they're ashamed of it. And like, that breaks my heart. Like, honestly, I'm trying not to get emotional right now, but there are so many women who are terrified of their facial hair. And people like you who claim to be feminists dare to shit on us, dare to say that we're lying about our gender because we have beards. You who hold vaginas so holy and so high dare to look at someone, me, with a vagina. I'm not going to prove it to you unless, like, you pay me, let's say, I'll sell you a nude for like $100. How about that? No, I won't. I'm not going to sell nudes. But I've spoken in detail about my polycystic ovarian syndrome. Ovaries. I have ovaries. They don't work, except I had like a period in January for the first time in like 10 years. That was really weird. But anyway, like, I'm rambling now, but TERFs, get your shit together. Like, you hate women. You don't care about women. You try to use that as your platform, saying that you care about women, but you hate trans women because, they're all these horrible things that I'm not going to repeat. But you don't actually care about women, because if you did, you would know about polycystic ovarian syndrome and know that your shitty, like, fucking gender ideals are all bullshit. Like, one big thing that I've seen TERFs, yelling about on the internet is that trans women try too hard to look feminine. Like, why if they're trying to break down gender barriers, then why do they try to look like, stereotypical feminine women? Y'all say that shit, but then look at me, a woman with a vagina and a beard, and say that I'm a man. Like, how does that make any goddamn sense? Y'all are backwards. Y'all are evil. Stop it. Like, there's no reason for it. Just learn to love yourself and learn to let other people live and respect the journey. Respect other people's journeys. Because everyone's so diverse. Like, humanity is diverse. People don't stick to just one specific thing or another. There's not one way to be a man. There's not one way to be a woman. There's not one way to exist. You can be non-binary. You can be anything, honestly. Like, there's so many different types of people. Respect that. Let people live. As long as people aren't hurting somebody else, as long as you're not, like TERFs, you guys are hurting people. You guys are harming people. You guys are doing evil. Fuck y'all. But if you're not harming somebody with, what you're doing, like if you're you know, if you're non-binary and people give you shit about that, you're not hurting anyone. Like if you were assigned male at birth and you now identify as a woman, you're not hurting anyone. You're living your truth, and that's great. But let people live. Let people exist and stop being so hateful, please. Like, you guys are really TERFs. You're no better than the men who come into my fucking ass box on Facebook demanding that I prove I have a vagina with photos. It's a form of negging to try to get me to send them nudes. And it's really gross and predatory. And that's what you guys are. TERFs are predators. You guys are horrible. So, anyway, sorry for that kind of serious negative note. It is Christmas Eve and Candlenight season. Um, so I have a lot that I'm thankful for. I'm so thankful for all the amazing and kind people I've met since I've started doing this. It's truly, truly overwhelming. There's just so many wonderful people, and I love you all. I'm going to be in a alternative beauty documentary thing. It's a very short form documentary series. The filming is going to be starting on January 15th-ish. We haven't like solidified the details yet, but around then, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. I'm very excited. Also, I'm moving on the 29th, which is in a couple of days. So this is going to be like the last time you see this drab, messy, horrible background. I'm very excited, honestly. So yeah. Oh, also I have a couple of shout outs. Let me look at those. Because I said before that if you donate to my coffee at least $3, I will give you a shout out. So I've got one here for Nova Agra, who is a wonderful, beautiful person, who is part of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, from San Francisco, California. And if you've never heard of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, Google them. They're so wildly cool. They're so great. So thank you. Thank you to Nova, my Nova friend. Pal Green, you get a shout out for being super kind and amazing and wonderful and lovely. Thank you so much. And then Jamie Geist, you are amazing. You're so sweet, and thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I love all of you. You guys are so amazing. Like, I can't get over how much kindness I've run into. I know I just talked for like 10 minutes about mean people, but they're really so minuscule compared to the kindness that I've received, and I'm so grateful. So thank you guys so much. I hope you all have a great holiday, season. I hope that your new year is started off right with positivity and love and, learning to love yourself. So, yeah, I guess that's all for me, but you guys have a great day, evening, whatever time you're watching this. And I love you all. So bye.